Well, everyone is talking about the new Star Wars movie this morning, and we have a local author, Ian Doescher, who took the original trilogy and turned them into works worthy of Shakespeare. Some of the titles here, well, one is Star Wars, William Shakespeare Star Wars, and then you have The Empire Striketh Back, and there's The Jedi Doth Return. So you're going to be reading from some of these works throughout the show today, but tell me, why did you start doing this?
Well, a few years ago, a few different things happened around the same time. I watched the original trilogy with some good friends of mine from high school, and then I read Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, which is one of these first mashup books that became popular. And right after that, my family and I went to the Oregon Shakespeare Festival, and while I was there, I sort of had Star Wars and Shakespeare and mashups all bouncing around in my head, and I thought it'd be really fun to rewrite Star Wars as though it were a play by Shakespeare.
How difficult was that to do, to translate Star Wars into Shakespeare?
I mean, the hardest thing was getting used to writing in iambic pentameter, because that's not how most of us express ourselves these days. So it definitely took some time to get used to that rhythm of speech and make sure that I was hitting all the points that Star Wars fans would want me to hit. It was a lot of fun, actually, doing it, being both a Star Wars geek and a Shakespeare nerd. So.
Yeah, and we're lucky that we have such a great Shakespeare company in Ashland. A lot of inspiration there, isn't there?
Absolutely, yeah. I love going down to Ashland and seeing the shows. It's always a favorite time of the year for me.
Yeah, I go down there at least twice a year and check out the shows down there. So when you're putting together a book like this, does it really take some time to kind of figure out how you want to tell the story in the way that Shakespeare would?
Yeah, I mean, you know, part of the challenge as you go along is, okay, for instance, when Luke Skywalker is staring at the two sons of Tatooine in the movie, it's just a silent moment in the movie. And Shakespeare would never have a silent moment on stage. He's always going to have somebody give a soliloquy about how they're feeling at that moment. So it was a fun experience to get into the heads of these characters and think, okay, what would they be feeling and thinking at this moment? And what other Shakespearean conventions can I throw in to try to you know, make sure that that side of the mashup gets equal weight?
Well, I'll tell you, both sides of the mashup have really dedicated fans. You've got a lot of people who are really into Shakespeare, a lot of people who are really into Star Wars. What's the reception been like from die-hard Star Wars fans?
Definitely, they've embraced it by and large. I mean, there's always going to be people who are fussing about one thing or another, but I've been amazed by the reception by Star Wars fans. They are, to a person, are such friendly and kind people. I was always a Star Wars fan in terms of knowing the movies well and everything, but didn't sort of realize the depth of that universe until I became a Star Wars author, and it's been great to meet all those wonderful people.
All right, well, we will be talking to you more throughout the course of the morning, and we'll be hearing from some of the works. These are really fun to read, too. Back to you.